Kudos to all of this year's standout awardees. So appreciate the 2020 vision and leadership you bring to every facet of our community, especially now. Thank you.
Congratulations, Suzanne. Thank you for everything you do for our company, for our people, and in our communities. Lubrizol is truly very fortunate and very proud to have you on our team.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Betsy Kling, Chief Meteorologist and 5 p.m. What's New anchor here at 3 News WKYC. Thank you so much for joining us for the YWCA Greater Cleveland's first ever virtual Women of Achievement Awards. Thank you to everyone who sent those beautiful messages to our Women of Achievement. That was a really cool video. You know, 2020 marks a new decade. What a decade it's been so far, right? Well, today's honorees have a new vision for women, one where women leaders, and particularly women leaders of color, are not considered exceptional, but they're the norm. We're here to show our support for an institution that for 150 years has been on the front lines of fighting for racial equity and the empowerment of women. YWCA Greater Cleveland is committed to advocacy, education, and training their staff in order to transform unjust policies and practices. There is no gender justice without racial justice. No girl or woman can be empowered if we don't address race and racism. I hope that you all will join me in making a gift to the YWCA. Your donation will support their work at the intersections of homelessness, racial equity, education, and career advancement, even in the midst of a pandemic. I'm excited to share that your gift to YWCA will be matched by several generous donors who we'll announce a little bit later on. Your gift will make double the impact, so make sure to either click the link to their donation page in the chat box or follow the instructions you see here on your screen. Now, while you all make your gift, it is my pleasure to introduce YWCA Greater Cleveland's President and CEO, Margaret Mitchell.
Thank you, Betsy, and welcome everybody. We're not in the ballroom at all this year, but we are all together. And it is my honor to welcome you to the luncheon. It's my honor to lead this organization that has been an advocate for women and girls for 150 years. We understand that this is a challenging time in our community, our state, and our nation. Over the last several weeks, we have witnessed the blatant racism and disrespect in the Asian American community and certainly in the Black community as well. It's been a challenging time, and many have been wondering, what can I do to help? What is my role? But for all of us at the YWCA of Greater Cleveland, we have been preparing for this moment. We've been working on our racial equity muscle internally and integrating this thinking into our organization's culture. Our new strategic plan is rooted in this work to advance racial equity and social justice, especially for women and girls of color. And we believe that no woman or girl can be empowered if we do not address race and racism. Over the years, we have stepped into this work in a number of ways, but we know that change doesn't come until an individual makes the choice to change themselves. Over the past year, we were just so proud to be able to be involved in bringing the 400 Years of Inequity Summit, a summit that focused in on the commemoration of chattel slavery from 1619 to 2019. And we did a 2-day summit here in Cleveland with our wonderful partner, First Year Cleveland, and had over 500 attendees join with us. Last year and again in 2020, we launched our 21-day Racial Equity and Social Justice Challenge. Over the past 2 years, more than 6,000 individuals have joined us in this challenge. And of course, we have been very focused on needle-moving work to declare racism a public health crisis. And now that that has happened in the city of Cleveland, we are working diligently to make the reality of equity present in our beautiful city. So I thank you for the many who have joined our anti-racism work. I hope that you continue to feel empowered to share your knowledge and education everywhere you encounter racism. You're helping us to make our amazing work come to life and amplifying it at the local, state, and national level. We are not new to this. We are absolutely true to this. Before I introduce our first honoree, Dr. Heather Burton, I wanted to say just a few words about Mary Jackson. She was the first Black female aerospace engineer, and this week NASA renamed its DC headquarters after her. Mary Jackson graduated with a degree in mathematics from Hampton Institute, now Hampton University, a historically Black college, and my alma mater. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our first honoree, Dr. Heather Burton, a member of the vanguard ensuring access for women of color and women with disabilities into STEM. She serves as the project director for the institution's Developing Excellence in Academic Leadership National Ideal End Project. She is dynamic, and her work in the Academy puts women of color in the forefront with the goal of equitable access, not only for education, but to provide a full range of opportunities available in the Academy. Welcome, Heather. So good to see you.
You too, Margaret. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of this celebration and to be a part of the honorees this year.
Well, it's wonderful to have you, and I'm just in awe of the work that you do. You truly are just a powerful force in terms of the work around STEM. The goal of Ideal N is to build learning communities across 10 research universities to promote gender equality in academic, science, and engineering disciplines. Tell me what women in these fields are facing in these disciplines today.
We know historically that STEM disciplines were male-dominated, white male-dominated. And so in that, there are still the effects or the trickle-down issues that impact women within these fields. And some of those include work-life balance, salary equity, as well as having to deal with implicit bias or even just bias and microaggressions. It's a shame that in 2020, when women still have to deal with comments that are around their role as a woman, whether they should be home, or comments such as, I figured that you wouldn't want to be PhD because you want to be married and have a child. And so when you're dealing with those type of comments still in 2020, it affects women within these fields.
It's amazing in 2020 that women are still faced with that. And I know what you're saying is real and happens to women. Your career has been creating and advancing opportunities for women and minorities in STEM. Tell me about the legacy that you want to leave.
I guess, you know, when I think about legacy and I think about the legacy that I want to leave, it's really the work that I do with individuals and students. And so anytime that I speak, I present, I talk, I always end it with this motto. And I think when I talk about legacy, this is how I want to be remembered. If God uses me to touch, motivate, or change one person, then my work is not in vain. And so if I can change, motivate, and touch one person through the power of God, then my work's not in vain. And so that's all I look for, and that's the only legacy that I want to leave.
Well, I've certainly had an opportunity to meet a number of your students, and I do know exactly how they feel about you. You're an amazing mentor. And I want to ask you about anti-racism and how you see women playing a role in ensuring that organizations and companies become anti-racist organizations.
It's interesting that you asked that question because I was doing a diversity training once and someone asked me, why don't we teach from an anti-racist perspective? And so when I think about organizations and anti-racism, first people have to accept that racism exists. And they have to get beyond this idea that racism is only attached to the KKK and wearing hoods. And when we can get beyond that, then organizations will be able to accept what anti-racism really is and what the effect that it needs to be within that organization. And as women, especially a woman of color, it's really standing up for racial equity. And it needs to be ingrained within the fabric of that institution. So as a woman, we have the power. And I always think about Sojourner Truth and paraphrasing her quote, that if one woman can turn the world upside down, then all of us collectively as women can turn it right side up.
Love that. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret and Heather. Now, it is time to announce our first group of women of professional excellence. This honor is given to women who demonstrate exceptional professional drive and community involvement. They embody the spirit of this event by their willingness to serve as mentors, as department and board chairs, and as examples of success today and in the future. Our honorees have empowered themselves and others to address and overcome disparities in our world. Congratulations to Dina Anzavino from PNC, Felicia Arnold from Key Bank, Janelle Bailey from Key Bank, Jill Barnholtz Sloan from University Hospitals, Carrie Benedict from Key Bank. You all should be so proud. Now, stay tuned because we have more of our women of professional excellence coming up. Until then, it's back over to you, Margaret.
Thanks, Betsy. Our next amazing honoree is a power player. Suzanne Day, Corporate Senior Vice President and Chief Legal and Ethics Officer for the Lubrizol Corporation. She joined Lubrizol in 1998 to handle litigation throughout the corporation, eventually heading the Litigation and Disputes Practice section of Lubrizol's legal division. Day became Vice President and General Counsel in January of 2011, Chief Ethics Officer in September of 2011, and Chief Legal Officer in 2015. Prior to joining Lubrizol, she was an associate at the Cleveland law firm of Calfee, Halter, and Griswold. She's an executive sponsor of WIL, Women in Lubrizol Leadership, and is on the Board of Trustees for the Western Reserve Academy. Thank you, Suzanne. Good to see you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Welcome.
It's great to see you too, Margaret. This is such an honor to be recognized by an organization like YWCA, so I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Suzanne, I happen to know of your just very strong commitment to women and women's leadership. You are a committed advocate for women in Lubrizol. Tell me what has inspired you to develop and help other women.
Well, Margaret, even though similar to what I said in a video that some may have already seen, I think it's worth saying again. And I think that I have developed into a committed advocate for women in leadership in Lubrizol and outside of Lubrizol, because I know that I didn't get to where I am under my own steam, not by a long shot. There were many people, and actually many of the men, who advocated for me, and who, if not specifically for me, they advocated for somebody like me to hire her, to promote her, or to give her a chance. So, and I know that women who entered the workforce before me suffered a lot of unpleasant and even miserable treatment that I didn't have to endure. So I'm very grateful for that. And I wish I could thank those people specifically, but there are so many of them, and most of them I don't even know. So I think my best play here is that I should pay it forward and advocate for hiring and promotion and inclusion of such a broad range of women that they won't need to advocate in the same way that I'm doing now, but they can instead focus on tackling some of the other big issues that I know that women in leadership can solve.
Just to continue down this same sort of thread, talk a little bit about why leveraging diverse perspectives is just so important for companies and organizations.
Well, there have been, so many studies that talk about how teams to have members with a variety of life experiences solve problems better and quicker with a more lasting solution and even make more money for the companies that hire them. So of course there's a personal financial incentive for that kind of behavior, but you know, there's another reason. What I've seen in the past 20 years at the company that I work for, and it's confirmed to me over and over again, is that most people, and especially the good people, the ones that we want in our company, the ones that you want in your company, want to be part of an organization that they're proud of. That when they're proud of the company, they're engaged and they do their best work. And we get lots of feedback from Lubrizol employees and throughout our community that our workforce believes that an ethical and sustainable company, and one that's going to be around for the long term, is a diverse company that values a wide range of people and is committed to diversity and social justice. So I think it's really important to consider that leveraging diverse perspectives is not only financially the right thing to do, it's just the right thing to do. And that's what your employees and your customers and the community that you're depending on, all your stakeholders, they want you to do the right thing.
I love that. The right thing to do is the right thing to do. Just to pivot to the YWCA for a minute, tell me what the mission of empowering women means to you.
Well, as I said, it's such an honor to be celebrated by an organization that has this mission, and I love this mission. The reason I love it is because I think the fact that we have made some progress on the second part of the mission gives me hope and makes me optimistic that progress on the first part really is possible. You know, we're not done empowering women, but if you just look at the women who you have gathered here today as women of achievement and the women we're celebrating as women of professional excellence this year and in years before, it shows that we have an abundance of talented and successful and empowered women, thanks in some part to the work of the YWCA, and that needs to continue. But the first part of the mission, eliminating racism, we're not there yet. We have a lot of work to do, and the fact that we have been able to be somewhat successful in the second part shows me that through the work of the YWCA and through all of the people who are listening today, thinking about how they can give back to their communities by donating to the organizations like the YWCA, by getting involved, we actually can make a difference in eliminating racism.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We do have a way to go, and yet we do have an abundance of talent. And I just echo your words. Thank you. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you.
Isn't it so cool to be introduced to women that you may or may not have known, and you'll learn something new about them? They're immediately inspiring. And it's always a joy to get to know our Women of Achievement honorees. Well, obviously they're deserving of the award. But now I want to introduce you to our second group of women of professional excellence. Congratulations to Christina Cashin from Key Bank, Valda C. Christian from University Hospitals, Nicole Dinan from Westfield Insurance, Lisa Durst from Eaton Corporation, and Dolores P. Garcia from Ulmer & Byrne. And there's more to come, but now let's hear from another one of our incredible honorees.
Hi, Mary Kim. It's my pleasure to introduce our next honoree, Mary Kim Elkins. She is the Senior Vice President, Taxes for Eaton, a power management company. Mary Kim is a trailblazer. She is the first woman to hold this position at Eaton, and in this role, she's responsible for Eaton's global tax function. Elkins joined Eaton in 2006 as Director Tax Strategy for the Fluid Power Group. Since that time, she has gone on to serve as Vice President Operational Tax Strategy, and most recently as Vice President International Tax Strategy. Elkins also serves on the board of Achievement Centers for Children. Welcome, Mary Kim. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Margaret. Thank you for honoring women in this way. It's such an amazing organization, and to be recognized by the YWCA is incredible.
I have a question for you. As the first woman to hold the rank of Senior Vice President of Taxes at Eaton, tell me, what did that mean to you?
It was incredible in the sense that being the first woman to hold this position gave other women that they can rise through the ranks and that they too can achieve any goal that they want. And having Eaton have faith in me and to promote me as a woman in this chair as an officer is also a testament as to how Eaton has progressed throughout its vision for women in leadership.
I know that the history of Eaton is really steeped, particularly in philanthropy. Eaton, the founder of Eaton, was just instrumental in the development and the design of what we know as the United Way today, which is a global force, but certainly, Eaton, the chairman of Eaton, was just at the forefront of that. And so I know you have been instrumental, have been the chairperson for Eaton's Northeast Ohio United Way campaign. Why do you believe it's important for women to take leadership in philanthropy?
Yeah, so Eaton is very, very steeply into community. We do believe in making a difference in our communities, and I'm very fortunate to be part of an organization that does allow that. I believe that women, especially women leaders, play an extremely important part in leading the way to demonstrate just our company that we're interested in making a success. We're also part of the community, and we need to make that community a success, and we need to build up the community and the individuals in that community and lift everyone, make sure that everyone can go forward and that they are achieving what we need to do in this, particularly in this space of equality, also gender equality. It is extremely important, and you do that through your community.
And speaking of equality, tell me what the mission of eliminating racism means to you.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little difficulty hearing your last question.
I was just piggybacking on what you had said related to equality and was asking you, what does the mission of eliminating racism mean to you?
So I believe your question was, what does YWCA's mission of eliminating racism mean to me? And I'm very impressed with YWCA's mission, particularly in this space, because it's what all of us should do. You live it every day. You're on the front lines of that every day. You make a difference. We as individuals, and particularly I take this very seriously, that every day I need to think through how I can lift someone else up, how I can help someone else to combat this racism problem that we have in our communities, in our workspace. And I think every day, what can I do? I think in addition to that, we also need to hold people accountable. We need to hold our peers accountable, our colleagues accountable, those in our community accountable, to also continue to strive for equality and the elimination of racism, as you do every day with the YWCA.
Thank you, Mary Kim. And congratulations on being a 2020 Woman of Achievement.
There you have it, another inspiring interview. But you all know what time it is now. Please help me to congratulate our next group of women of professional excellence. Victoria Gelling from Sherwin-Williams, Jody Hopkins from Westfield Insurance, Candy Rishik from Key Bank, Patricia Ywca from Key Bank, and Melanie Kaiser from Key Bank. Congratulations, ladies. And now I want to take a minute to share with you a message from two longtime supporters of YWCA and our amazing presenting sponsors, Key Bank and University Hospitals.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations to each and every one of you being recognized for your achievements. You are all outstanding leaders whose impact and contribution is seen not only through your professional accomplishments, but in your dedication to your companies and your colleagues and your commitment to the communities we serve. I'm especially proud of our Key Bank teammates being recognized tonight, and so I'd like to give them a special shout out. Congratulations, Felicia Arnold, Janelle Bailey, Carrie Benedict, Chris Cashin, Candy Rishik, Patty Ywca, Melanie Kaiser, Michelle Perez, and Kim Snipes. Congratulations. I am so pleased and proud to work with each and every one of you. And congratulations to everyone being recognized here this evening. It is so well deserved. Enjoy every moment.
On behalf of the entire University Hospitals community, I want to congratulate the YWCA for continuing to recognize the extraordinary accomplishments of women in our community. University Hospitals is proud to support this event that spotlights the most inspiring women leaders from across Northeast Ohio. Those of you receiving an award today exemplify high professional standards, demonstrate your commitment to support and mentor others while making a positive impact in our entire community. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and I would also like to congratulate the 102 women from University Hospitals who have been recognized since the inception of these awards. All of your dedication to using your intellect, skills, talents, and perspectives to empower others and help move our region forward is exemplary and distinguishes you as a leader. Our nation and Northeast Ohio face many challenges right now, and more than ever, we need inclusive leadership and diverse perspectives to confront problems, identify solutions, and create opportunities for everyone to realize their fullest potential. We're very fortunate as a community to have women like you who lead, achieve, and inspire others to accomplishment through the examples you set every day. All of you are infusing our civic and business community with exciting new energy and fresh perspectives. On behalf of University Hospitals and the greater Northeast Ohio community, I thank you for sharing your vision and leadership and for advancing the mission of the YWCA. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
That was fantastic. Thank you, Key Bank and University Hospitals, for your continued support. I also want to share that Key Bank is currently offering a 2-to-1 match donation for their employees who give to organizations actively working toward racial equity, and the YWCA Greater Cleveland is one of them. Opportunity will be available for Key Bank employees until July 10th. Thank you to Key Bank for empowering your team to make a positive change. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Margaret.
Well, thank you. It's my honor now to introduce to you a young woman I call my colleague and my friend. She is powerful and inspirational. She just joined our team where she will be supporting women experiencing homelessness at Norma Herr Women's Center. She has an incredible story, and I'm so glad that she wanted to join us and share that story with all of you today.
So in 2010, 2011, I became homeless after recently graduating high school and exiting out the county system, like many youth at that time who were aging out of the county system. And I had nowhere else to go, so I ended up returning back to my family's house where CPS had originally taken me from. And that situation was not a stable one, so I ended up becoming homeless again and going to the Norma Herr shelter, where I met another young adult who told me about the YWCA. The YWCA and the NIA program gave me an opportunity to explore myself in a safe environment and grow and develop. At the Y, I was able to obtain my first degree, and I was able to be the first person in my family to graduate from college. The NIA program and the Y also gave me resources to be able to finish school, because there was times where I couldn't afford books or tuition, and the Y and NIA program supported my goals in that way. After graduating, I was able to get a job in my field at a residential treatment facility for young women. And then I was able to obtain an apartment shortly after that. Since then, I've graduated from the University of Toledo with my bachelor's degree. I had 2 kids. I have a son and a daughter, and they are my motivation for everything I do. I have reached out through the NIA program. I got linked with an organization called Community of Hope, and joined Open Table, gotten therapy, and through that, I had plenty of support and mentors to get me to where I'm at. So I'm currently working at the Norma Hair Shelter as a housing navigator, and it's been so surreal working there because it's literally come full circle where I started off as a homeless youth at that shelter, and now I am a housing navigator finding housing for women who are in my same situation. So I just find it as like a blessing that I'm able to give back to a community that has given me so much.
Wow, thank you, Sweets. Thank you so much for sharing your story with all of us and for everything you do to support women at Norma Her. You are an amazing young woman. Our next Woman of Achievement honoree is Constance Hill Johnson. She's an extraordinary philanthropist, an entrepreneur, and leader. Simply put, she is a force for good. Connie is the owner and managing director of Visiting Angels Living Assistance Services. She is passionate about helping other caregivers manage the challenges which come with the aging process and helping seniors to remain independent and safe in their homes. Hill Johnson started the business after the death of her own father and recognizing the need for quality health care and home care. She also serves on the board of the Cleveland Foundation and is one of the architects of the Soul of Philanthropy Cleveland, a national exhibition changing the narrative around philanthropy in the Black community. Welcome, Connie. It's good to see you. Hi, Margaret.
I am well. I hope you are also.
Yes, yes, yes. Connie, I want to hear a little bit about Visiting Angels. Tell me what it was like and what you saw missing in the Cleveland community.
Wow, great question. I jumped into Visiting Angels in 2002 after being laid off shortly after 9/11. And at that time, I must admit I wasn't looking to be an entrepreneur, but it found me. And I ran across an article about the number of minorities buying franchises. And I jumped in. It was at the time my dad was receiving care at home. So I moved back to Cleveland and literally started the business in the basement of the same home I grew up in.
Love that. I know that in addition to your passion as an entrepreneur, you are very passionate about philanthropy. Tell me about just the effort to bring the Soul of Philanthropy to Cleveland and just the national movement that you are just such a force behind.
You know, I'm thrilled that you're asking about that. It was a collective effort. I clearly can't take all of the credit, but I became like a dog with a bone when I learned about the Soul of Philanthropy and the national exhibition. And I know Cleveland is a giving community, but I also know that African Americans are not typically viewed as philanthropists. We don't use that word, but as a percentage of income, we give more than any other ethnic group in the country. We just have not always called how we give philanthropy. So I thought bringing this exhibition to Cleveland would be ideal to reframe and redefine what philanthropy looks like in our community. And it was here last fall, and I am of the truest belief that we have indeed reframed and redefined what philanthropy looks like for people who look like me and you, and for the greater community.
Indeed, indeed. I want to pivot just for a moment to your leadership in 2020. I remember as the new year started, and a friend reminded me recently that we were all talking about 2020 vision and how we were going to be able to see so much clearer. And that is truly the case. 2020 has just brought so much into clarity. And I wanted to ask you how you have adapted your leadership to support the many changes of 2020.
That's a serious question, Margaret. I really feel like I'm dealing right now with two pandemics. I have this home care agency, and I have a myriad of caregivers out in the field now caring for seniors in their home, fighting the fight, struggling to get the PPE they need, making sure that they stay safe and well. So that's the pandemic that we're each fighting, and I'm fighting professionally as a provider of home care services to seniors. Secondly, the other pandemic, if you will, is the systemic racism and discrimination that's sweeping the country and that we're all recognizing now. And so I've had to pivot, if you will. I've had to be more adept. I've had to be responsive. I've learned that I'm in this position now to sometimes speak truth to power and to hopefully be a woman of influence in my conversations, in my actions, in the decisions that I make, both as an entrepreneur with Visiting Angels, but in the voice and the impact that I can have as a board member on some of the largest organizations here in Cleveland.
Well, you do speak truth to power, and you are a woman of influence. I want to thank you for your ongoing support of YWCA Greater Cleveland. I'd love for you to share why you continue to support the YWCA and the challenge that you issued to our honorees.
Well, I said to you when I received this recognition, and now who would have thought that this event would be in the midst of what we're faced with in our country. And so I think of that scripture, if you will, that says we're here for such a time as this. And so for each of the women who have been honored, I really believe that we are here for such a time as this, as we work with the YWCA to eliminate racism. So I have taken it upon myself to challenge my colleagues and anyone else out there who's listening. I pledged $1,500 to the YWCA. And I'm asking those who are listening and my colleagues who are being honored to meet that challenge. And hopefully many of them will exceed the amount that I've committed. But I'm looking forward to doing an even greater work in supporting the YWCA in their mission.
Thank you, Connie. Your support means so much to me personally and to all of the women and families that we serve. It's an honor to call you friend. Thank you so much for your leadership and in supporting YWCA.
Thank you, Margaret.
You know, I wanted everybody to know that we really debated on whether or not this was the right time to host an event like this. We weren't sure if the tone was right, and we wanted to make sure that our friends and our supporters understood why we were still going through with this event. But it was during the discussion with all 6 of our honorees that they all expressed the desire for this event to occur and for this event to be focused on the incredible work of racial equity that the YWCA has been driving. I think this shows just the incredible nature of these women. This is a group that was destined to be honored this year, and we appreciate their unwavering flexibility during the whole planning process. I want to thank each of you, thank all of the honorees, and thank everybody for joining us in our mission to eliminate racism. If you haven't made a donation yet, I would encourage you to do so now. We're just thrilled with the ability to meet our fundraising goals. We know that not many organizations have had that opportunity, but we are on goal and are on track for this event, and we're just so pleased and so proud with the event and the funds that we have been able to raise.
Thank you, Margaret. And to our whole audience out there, please continue to make your gifts. Remember, your donations will be matched. We have an amazing group of honorees this year. And now let's welcome another group of women of professional excellence. Join me in congratulating Jeannie LeCamp from University Hospitals, Nora Loftus from France Ward LLP, Jennifer Lawrence from University Hospitals, Lisa Lyon from Poly One Corporation, Linda Mangish from University Hospitals. You all should be so proud. Now, let's turn it back over to Margaret for another insightful interview. Margaret?
Our next honoree has climbed the career ladder to great heights. Stami Paul is an executive human resources leader with more than 20 years of human resources strategy and change management experience. Paul currently holds the position of North Division Vice President, Human Resources with Airgas, an Air Liquide company. Stami is also a groundbreaker working to beautify our communities as the founder and president of Graffiti Heart, an amazing platform for aspiring artists to practice their artistic talent on a stage that promotes approved commission projects and beautifies communities while funding educational opportunities for young people. This past weekend, Graffiti Heart installed a Black Lives Matter mural on 93rd Street right here in Cleveland that we invite you all to be able to see. Welcome, Stami. How are you?
Hi, Margaret. Good afternoon, and I'm doing great. Thank you. Just very honored and excited to be a part of this great group of women, and very humble. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I have my first question for you. I want to know what inspired you to found Graffiti Heart, and what have you learned from the experience?
Yeah, so I get that question all the time, and I think that I can just summarize it in that graffiti art form has been something that has just always been fascinating to me, because it's not done, it's not performed or installed in a public place while people are able to watch, or it's not necessarily on exhibit, but it is on exhibit for everyone to see, for those that have a passion around it. And years ago, when I did want to provide some type of graffiti art form in my house, I noticed it was very difficult to find a graffiti writer that would be comfortable perhaps in responding to me that they didn't know from Adam. And so through a long story short, having to go outside of the city to connect with the appropriate artists brought that idea to me to bring that platform to Cleveland and do it in a way that does drive a nonprofit platform, so that we can also help drive awareness around the beauty of this platform, of this art, to the younger community. So we've mirrored basically a way to provide educational opportunities to the youth through our Teenage Graffiti Heart scholarship program with Cleveland Institute of Art, where we've sent several teenage students through that program, and also through providing a lot of beauty in our city and outside of Cleveland. I think what I've learned from this experience, and I'm learning every day, is that through art and through my position in this organization also creates power and influence, and how to use this organization and our mission to tap into the diversity of the youth, of those that don't have the resources to actually get formal training and education, or to get the stage that they may not otherwise have gotten. So last weekend during the Black Lives Matter mural, where Graffiti Heart partnered with Rake, we actually had some of our prior Cleveland Institute of Art students, scholarship recipients, perform their first letter, so their first mural in their history. So I think what that shows me is that hopefully that'll be the first of many for them to help promote their talents and hopefully their career.
I just love that you are a disruptor in the art world. It is awesome. I want to talk just a little bit about human resources now. And I believe that human resources within organizations can play a dynamic role in helping organizations to become anti-racist. Tell me about your thoughts about how HR departments can become more proactive in this space.
Yes, human resources, we really have a role to be change agents and to help our leadership and our business partners be comfortable with understanding what and how to have the conversations around equity, diversity, inclusion, and anti-racism, which we're hearing more now, given the disruption, which is, I think, a positive disruption, because I think it gives us the excuse to be more forward and more deliberate in saying it, naming it, and educating ourselves. So from a human resources standpoint, I can speak on behalf of the colleagues that I work with. We have a responsibility to make time and deliberately have conversations and provide materials, provide the learnings so that we can be better students and therefore better educators with our business. We also have a responsibility to be a voice for our workforce and those in our workforce that may not otherwise have the platform to be able to spread the opportunity to drive equity, engagement, and opportunities for diversity and inclusion, whether that be through our compensation systems, our policies, and other training materials, as well as how we go to market and how we attract diverse candidates to our company. So human resources really has a pivotal role in this, because we know that everyone that comes to work every day also lives their life every day in society. And so the two, they should be able to come to work and feel themselves and bring their full potential and be proud and be leveraged as being different in the workforce.
COVID-19 has certainly been a difficult taskmaster, and COVID-19 has reminded all of us that resilience is a skill. Tell me something, and in that skill, it's something that we need to strengthen all the time. Tell me how you are fostering resilience in your own life.
I thought about that question. I almost feel like resilience is something that I don't recognize until I'm able to look back in the rearview mirror to see what and how I've handled certain situations, either on my own or with my colleagues or with people in my personal life. And I think, one, trying to make sure that we bring humor into things to try to help ease the stress. I know early on in this pandemic, the stress certainly impacted me more than I recognized. I feel different today, although the uncertainty is still there. But what I would say is resilience I think I've shown and been able to tackle this situation because of the resilience of knowing how to adapt and flex. We've had to make quick decisions without differently than we did in the past, without having to figure out 80%, 90% of the solution. We had to make them with maybe 50% of the information. So the decisions that we've made, whether they could have been done differently, I think shows that so far were the right ones. And I think being in a leadership role, that's what we're tasked to do. And all of us have had to be in this position without any playbooks, or any classes and curricula in college. So this is new for everyone. And I would say that I'm really proud of our community. I'm part of at ARS and adapt to our workforce and to our customers. So I think we'll be able to look back one day and hopefully be proud of the way in which we responded.
Well, thank you, Stami. I am grateful for you. I love the comments that you had to say regarding organizationally and HR and anti-racism. I think we are on an edge now, a growing edge. Thank you for your work at Graffiti Heart. Thank you for all that you do in this community. Congratulations on being a 2020 Woman of Achievement. It's been great talking with you.
Thanks, Margaret. And I'm very honored and appreciative of this honor and the responsibility we have to move forward with this responsibility. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Stami. I recently had the privilege of visiting the Graffiti Heart Studio, and I can attest how talented the team is. It is so cool to pick up a spray paint can and paint on stuff and not have a plan or anybody inspecting it. Although I will say what Jay Crawford and I did at Graffiti Heart, well, it was tagged over by Poke, an actual real graffiti artist. He did a great job. But anyway, in the end, we had our hand at it. It was a lot of fun. So congratulations, Stami, once again. Now, please help me recognize another group of women of professional excellence. Marlene Miller from University Hospitals, Michelle Perez from Key Bank, Kara Kwan from University Hospitals, Rochelle Richendaler from Poly One Corporation, and Christine Schaefer from University Hospitals. Congratulations, ladies. Back to you, Margaret. I can't wait to learn more about our final honoree.
And now we're going to be meeting Patty Slotsky. Patty has paved the way for women to follow her. Patty is a partner in one of Cleveland's oldest law firms, Ulmer & Byrne. She is the first woman to serve as Cleveland's partner in charge in the firm's more than 110-year-old history. Patty oversees the day-to-day operations of the Cleveland office while managing her demanding practice as a nationally recognized employee benefits attorney. Patty was one of the first women to serve on the firm's management committee and continues to serve in this capacity as one of 7 people with responsibility for managing all aspects of the firm's operations. Welcome, Patty. Good to see you.
You too, Margaret. Thank you so much. And I'm very honored to be receiving this award with this incredibly impressive group of women who are collectively an impossible act to follow. Thank you.
Well, you are welcome. And you, as I said right up top, you are the first woman to serve as Ulmer & Byrne's partner in charge. Tell me what that achievement has meant to you.
Well, achievement, it means a lot to me. I'm very proud of it, and I'm proud of the firm for putting me in this position. I always tell people that at this law firm, the sky's the limit, and anything that you want to accomplish, you can accomplish. I've worked really hard. I've been here for almost 35 years. When I got here, I was a very young lawyer trying to learn the area. I am an employee benefits lawyer. It's technical, it's complicated, so I was very focused on trying to learn and become the best lawyer I could. But as time went by, I realized that in addition to wanting to be a really good lawyer, I wanted to have some kind of a role in the firm leadership. And at that time, there were very few women here, and there were no women in leadership roles. So there was nobody that I could look to as a role model. But I was very lucky. I got involved with the campaign for a common pleas judge here in Cleveland, and for whatever reason, she took me under her wing, and she took me everywhere she went, and she introduced me to every single person that she knew, and it gave me a lot of confidence, and I've always been grateful for that. And now 25 years on or so, she and I are still very, very close, and I want to say thank you to her for all she did for me. So I've also had great support here at Ulmer & Byrne from leadership. I've asked for a lot of things, and everything I've ever wanted to do, I've never heard no. So I'm grateful for that and grateful for the support and allowing me to have a voice in firm management. So those things are very important to me. But I think the most important thing to me about being in this position is that I'm hopeful that I serve as a role model to the women in my firm and the women outside my firm, that whatever it is that they want to do is available to them and they can do it. So while I might be the first, I know for sure I won't be the last.
I love that. I want to just pull back a little bit and look nationally. We know that only 23% of law firm partners nationwide are women. What do you think the legal profession can do to empower women and grow the pipeline so that we are seeing more women at the top of the legal at the top of legal firms?
Well, Margaret, it's a great question, and we talk about it all the time. And I think that really the issue is retention. You've got more than 50% of law school graduating classes are women, and so I don't think the pipeline is the issue, but the issue is retention. And we know that in the early years of practicing law, women are under a lot more pressures. They have a lot more responsibilities than men. And those early years are really important. You're working hard to be a good lawyer. You want to make a good impression. And unfortunately, first impressions last for a really long time. So I think the first thing that needs to happen to work on retention is that law firms in general need to be more flexible in those early years and let women have some flexibility to do the things that they need to do in their personal lives as well as their professional lives. But we also need to show our women lawyers that they are valued. And we need to give them the same opportunities that their male colleagues have in terms of the quality of work and client relationships and networking opportunities. Women need mentoring and role models. They need to see that there are other women who are dealing with the same or have dealt with the same issues that they are dealing with and who have succeeded in the law firm context. These things might sound easy, they're tangible, but we know that it's not easy. But I think all law firms know what they need to do and they're working on it.
It's not easy at all. And just to continue down that thread, how do we move from including women in the workplace to truly valuing their contributions equally?
Well, that's a really tough question, Margaret. I wish I knew the answer, but as a good lawyer, even though I don't know the answer, I do have some ideas and some opinions on that. I think that the first step is for men and women to focus on the issue together. Women can't do it by themselves. The men need to be more aware of how they react to women. They need to be more conscious of their temptation to just talk over women or to explain the most minute details of simple concepts to them. Those behaviors erode women's confidence, and confidence is really important to moving forward. I have a comic on my filing cabinet up in my office that there's a man and a woman sitting at a desk, and the man says to the woman, "Excellent idea, Ms. Tiggs. Maybe one of the men would like to make that suggestion." And I think women feel like this is what happens to them in the workplace, and we need to get past that. Visibility is a critical issue. We need to put women in positions where they are visible, which means putting them in front of leadership, giving them meaningful and complex responsibilities, and showing what it is that they can do. And I think we also need to give women early leadership training, because women tend to be more likely to sit back in groups and not speak out, and they need to be taught how to do that, and that it's not a negative thing for them to do that. And I think that if we can accomplish these things, women will feel confident, and as they feel confident, they'll step up, and everybody will value them more.
Love that. Yes. Doesn't just erode women's confidence. I think it hijacks their confidence so frequently. Patty, thank you. It's been an honor to talk with you. Thank you for blazing the trail for women in law. Congratulations on being a 2020 Woman of Achievement.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. These women, all 6 of them, are exceptional to say the least. Thank you for all your contributions to your organizations and to our community. I'm so glad we were able to hear from all of you today. Now, our sponsors have a few words to share with the YWCA and our honorees. Please enjoy these messages from our Justice sponsors.
Congratulations, Rochelle and Lisa, on being recognized in YWCA's Women of Professional Excellence. I'm proud to work with you and call you part of the team. Thank you for your leadership in the workplace, your commitment to excellence, and your dedication to making Poly One a great place to work. Thank you and congrats.
On behalf of Eaton, I am excited to congratulate Mary Kim on being named one of this year's YWCA Women of Achievement. As an executive sponsor for 2 of Eaton's employee resource groups focused on women and Asian employees, Mary Kim's leadership has helped to advance women all across the company. Her passion for elevating our women leaders is infectious and has made a real difference at Eaton. We are proud you are recognizing her and thank her for using her voice to support these important initiatives.
I'm Scott Kadish, Managing Partner at Ulmer & Byrne. On behalf of everyone at Ulmer, we congratulate Patty as a YWCA Woman of Achievement and commend the YWCA for its great work and for recognizing Patty for this much-deserved honor.
100% genuine and nothing artificial. Just what you'd expect from a farm-grown company like Westfield. Purely good stuff inside, like passion and promises kept, the guts to do insurance differently, and the heart to make it matter every single day.
And thank you to our Justice sponsors for your words and all of our sponsors for supporting this very important event. Now, we will start to wrap up by recognizing our final group of women of professional excellence. Join me in congratulating Kim Snipes from Key Bank, Wendy Snyder from University Hospitals, Frances Taggart-Holly from Eaton Corporation, Kristen Walker-Boos from Ulmer & Byrne, and Jennifer White from Ernst & Young. Congratulations to all of today's honorees. You truly are women with vision. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today. I know these are difficult times, but it is so important that we come together and support organizations like the YWCA Greater Cleveland. They're doing hard work and providing a resource to our community during this crisis. That being said, it is not too late to make a gift. Please click on the donation link in the chat box or follow the instructions on your screen to make your gift by text message. Now, before we go, I want to give another special thank you to our presenting sponsors, Key Bank and University Hospitals. Your ongoing support means so much to everyone impacted by YWCA's programs. Thank you to our Justice sponsors, Eaton Corporation, Poly One, Ulmer Byrne LLP, and Westfield. Thank you to our Freedom sponsors, Ernst & Young, PNC Bank, the Sherwin-Williams Company, Franz Ward. And thank you to our Dignity sponsors, Case Western Reserve University, the Cleveland Foundation, Dollar Bank, Lubrizol, Parker Hannafin Corporation, RPM International Inc., Ursuline College. Congratulations again to all the women that were honored here today. We are so proud to have you serving our community. Thank you all for attending and supporting the YWCA Greater Cleveland. There is still so much work to do, and we know we can count on everyone here to join us on our mission to eliminate racism and empower women. Thank you.
I want to thank all of the women of professional excellence and congratulate them on their honor today. It's just wonderful. I'm so thrilled that we've been able to present you and honor you today. So congratulations, women of professional excellence. I also want to thank all of our honorees, and it was just wonderful to see you all today and interview you all. I want to thank you for your personal gift to the YWCA, enabling us to present a challenge. So all of you who are donating to the mission of the YWCA today or this weekend, your monies are going to be matched by our 2020 Women of Achievement honoree. And in closing, I just want to give a very, very special thank you to Key Bank, Key Corp, and to University Hospitals for your outstanding partnership, for your friendship, and for your commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women. Thank you all for joining us today. Drive safely. Just kidding. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.